Hello, hello. I am Keishan, your human resource. And I help people see the possibilities and what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR, disrupting leadership, and disrupting you today. I have a question for you. So, I quit my job, wrote a book, and here I am. Here I am. The question is for you because I'm growing more now than when I was working. So the question today for you is, are you growing? Are you growing? Let me check. Okay, so are you growing? And I talk about what that looks like. What does growing look like? Now, let me just preface this by saying yesterday I talked about what's new. So what's new for me is I mentioned yesterday that I'm working with some young ladies at a local high school to just expose them to some different things. The reason being is because when I was growing up, there was somebody who poured into me, and you've heard it before. Make sure that you go back, bring somebody along with you. Well, I just want to go back to the beginning, before adulthood, before we start making decisions. And so the perfect group for me are high schoolers. Sometimes I've had I don't want to say challenges, but it's just a different connection with young men. I connect more with young ladies because I've been there, so I understand some of the challenges, some of the situations that we may encounter as young women. So I quit my job, wrote a book. I'm growing. So what does that mean? So I looked at it from this standpoint. When I was in college, even in high school, all the way up through college, what did we do? We had classes that we took. We did not have just one class that we had to learn. We had multiple classes. And it was like the older we got, the more classes, the more difficult it became. Studying, time commitment, and the like. So I looked at it from this standpoint because people will say, well, you should only focus on one thing. Well, I don't know. I disagree with that. So I'm taking the concept of multitasking, the concept of handling multiple projects at once. And when we think about being in college, we had to do multiple things at once. We had classes, and especially at the collegiate level, those professors were not saying, oh, I understand that you have these other classes, so yeah, you just take your time getting your assignment to me, your research paper to me. Don't worry about the test, you can take it later. That was not the case. Every professor, every prof demanded your attention to their class. As it is with life, we have multiple situations, whether it's with family, it could be on the job, it could be out in the community, but rest assured, everything was handled or is being handled. So I want to say this. If when it comes to being involved with multiple projects, for me, I have to, because if I'm just focusing on one thing, I get bored. Maybe I'm the only one, but just focusing on one thing, even when we're studying, I know for me, when I'm watching a movie, sometimes I need to get up and just break away from just the focus, unless I'm just so drawn in because they have multiple, I'm looking for the right word, multiple situations that are happening in the movie. So you have this person with this situation or that person, and so I need those distractions to keep me focused. So some of what I've been working on, I mentioned that I'm working on a project with these young ladies that I'll be sharing more about next week. And I'm hoping that those of you who are in the Grand Rapids area can support this endeavor, because these young ladies, I think it would really benefit them. In addition to that, I have, and I wasn't sure if I was going to share this or not, but I'll share it anyways. So you all know that, or maybe you don't know, I have been very involved with AARP. One of the assignments that I was given as a part of AARP is that I have been tapped on the shoulder and I've been asked to be the spokesperson for the state of Michigan for fraud prevention. I have spoken to different organizations about fraud prevention, and I'll share my own personal story at some point with fraud, identity theft, and so on and so forth. But so this weekend, I actually will be sharing the fraud prevention presentation at a local church. And the name of the church is, I'm going to tell you in a few minutes, it's Trinity Methodist Church, and it's on Lake Drive. This is a free event. I'm shamelessly plugging. This is a free event for anybody who's in the area. Registration starts at 9:45, and there will be breakouts where people will talk about, I'll be talking about fraud prevention, and then another person will be talking about Let's Talk Legacy, and then there's a break, and there's a really cool conversation, and I believe it's a movie or documentary of a lady who was currently diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's, but she knows, she's aware, and she's sharing her story, which I think is going to be really cool. But I think I don't know if you have to register. I have a flyer somewhere. I was trying to upload it. It didn't upload, so I'm going to have to see how I can get it to you. Because it's this Saturday. Again, it starts at 10 o'clock is the greeting and workshop, and then it goes through to 1:30. There's lunch in between. So that's just one of the assignments that I've been given as the spokesperson for the state of Michigan for fraud prevention for AARP. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then, of course, the other event that will not be spoken about until next week, when I'm able to pull some more of the pieces together. So the question is, are you growing? Have you grown? Even with all of the uncomfortable situations that you experienced last year, what have you learned from those situations? Are you content with those situations being okay? I think I hear something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back real quick. So again, are you growing? Are you in a position where there was an event that made you feel uncomfortable? And in the middle of the discomfort, what did you do with that feeling? Did you just let it fester, or did you knock it out? Did you lean into it? I've been talking about leaning in. So did you allow that situation to immobilize you? Because we do that. We can't help it. We're uncomfortable. We don't know what to do. So we stand there. I've been guilty. However, after quitting my job, I don't know if I became, I won't say fearless, but I'm definitely up for the challenges that come my way, because I don't want anything to immobilize me, to make me not move forward. And that's how the enemy comes in. He'll speak to you, saying things and make you think that you're weak, you're stupid. Because and I've shared this story before, but it's worth sharing again. I worked at an organization where I was told, Keishan, I really don't think you're cut out for this part of HR. And I'm like, HR is HR no matter what industry you're in. But in, I'll share it anyways. In the middle of that, those words being spoken to me, there was so much happening behind the scenes that people didn't know was happening to me at home. What I was, the fight that I was enduring. And it was, just imagine just getting punched. At some point, you're going to wear down. Your body is going to wear down. You're mentally going to wear down. I almost had at least one nervous breakdown, going through situations, going through discomfort, and not knowing how to deal with it, and just feeling overpowered, overwhelmed. And I'm so glad that I didn't, but I've shared the story. If you look up one video in particular where I was talking about, I was driving. And as I was driving, I was literally being tormented, mentally tormented with these crazy thoughts. And it was like a bullhorn. Somebody had a bullhorn to my ear. Just, it was a deafening sound, as if to tell me to quit, as if to tell me I'm about to lose my mind. I literally felt like I was going to lose my mind. I felt like there was nothing more I can do. And I remember driving, I had to pull over and just scream, cry. I was so exhausted in that moment. But I bounced back. And that's where the lean in comes to play. Life can happen, but we shouldn't let it happen to us. We need to detour, pivot, stop, look at your roadmap again, make sure you're going in the right direction, and then move forward. That's what we should be doing. And I encourage you to do that. When I was like, they keep calling me, they want their money. Bills, just they don't stop. So life doesn't stop. But a situation, a roadblock can stop us, but that roadblock is not the only way to our destiny. It's not the only way to the next place in life where we're supposed to be. So I hope that is somewhat encouraging. Multiple things in the air does not mean you have to drop them. Just stop and prioritize what's next, what needs to be in the next order, because then that keeps my mind sane. I am not going to lose my mind. I'm going to press through. So I hope that blessed you. I was talking more than I really intended. I try to keep it right around 10 minutes. So anyways, I hope that blessed you. I cannot read all my comments right now because I got all these different devices and they're blocking. But again, I do hope that this blessed you. So I quit my job, wrote a book, and I am growing. I am growing in the midst of the quit. I'll be sharing more though. I've been doing some studying. I'll tell you what I've been studying because it's going to bless somebody. I know it is because it's blessing me. So that is all that I have to share. Again, my name is Keishan. I am your human resource. I help people see the possibilities in what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR. I am disrupting leadership. And I hope that this disrupted you. Until next time, take care. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Okay, bye-bye.